you didn't come to art traditionally. You developed an interest as a child watching your sister do cartoons?
Yeah, I did. And I come from a large family, and one of my older sisters, who lives in Canton, Ohio now, as a matter of fact, and when I see her now, and I saw her not too long ago, she always says, gosh, I sure wish I would have continued that, but, you know, as young children, she would draw the cartoons from the comic strips and that sort of stuff, and, you know, I did the same thing, sitting right beside her, and I got to the point where I said, I think I could do that, and I started doing it, and I got pretty good at it, and she stopped, and I continued, and then as I like to say, I graduated up to the editorial cartoons, which were a little more challenging, a little more difficult.
And more murderous. I remember seeing him perform here in Toledo a few years ago. Actually, it was back in the probably late 70s at one of the jazz festivals that we had in downtown Toledo. And I remember seeing him up on the stage. Of course, he had his traditional trumpet and doing his thing, and everybody would look for the billowing and bullfrogish, if I can coin a word there, bullfrogish cheeks puffing out. And every time I would see him do that, it looked painful to me. But he knew exactly what he was doing, and you know, he got the notes and the music and everything out of it. But with this particular painting, certainly just the flow of it and just the washes and building up to it. And even these little things that I put in up here, they weren't accidental, but those were intentional.
And you went into your degree at UT is in education.
Yeah, it is, art education, and taught in the Toledo public school system for about 10 years as a junior art teacher over at McTighe, the old McTighe Junior High. Yeah, today I'll see a lot of my former students out and about throughout the city, and they'll recognize me, and some I recognize, even though we're, gosh, a couple of decades removed from when I had them in class. But, well, here's a good example. I saw one of my students here recently, probably about 3 weeks ago, and I introduced myself to him, and he actually works for one of the local radio stations, 107.3, and he's a DJ. And in the spare time, he's a DJ for different events. Anyway, introduced myself to him at my oldest daughter's wedding at the reception. And he said, I know you. I said, oh, you do? He said, yeah, you were my 8th grade art teacher. He said, I learned a lot from you as my 8th grade art teacher and also my wrestling coach. And I really appreciate everything that you did for me. I said, well, that's quite all right. That's what I was there for. I'll send you a bill later.
You never know how you're going to touch students.
No, you really don't.
It might be something that's completely off the lesson plan, just a stray comment you make.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
What,
like this one in particular, I don't back away from them. I'm right on top of it. About this close. Yeah, I'm right on top of it, and I do it. And then when I think I'm about finished, then I'll back away and take a look and say, oh, okay. That's kind of a dangerous thing to do, though, rather than backing off and coming back and all that sort of stuff. But I can kind of feel and sense that when I'm in a good place with it. And I just, for whatever reason, I just kind of know where I am. And I do a lot of painting demonstrations on my easel in watercolor, and I'm usually right up on top of the painting. And generally what I'll do is ask the audience, how's it look? So I'll get their feedback, and if they say, ooh, it looks great, then I keep on going. But usually works out pretty well.
do you feel, as a teacher,
Yes.
do you want the audience to look at it and come up with some questions for you? Do you want them to feel a little off kilter, off balance, like there's something here that I don't understand, or do you want it all accessible? What is the value of art in education, do you think?
Well, I think it's important. I think it's important for kids, because I think there's a real tie-in between art and more of the academic areas, like your math and sciences and things like that. And I think that's a way in which you can kind of excite kids through art, and kind of to get through to the other subjects, because everybody loves art, and I think everybody from small children, we all did something doodling along the way, and I think we all have it inside of us too.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Even though a lot of people will tell me I don't have a artistic bone in my body, I think they do. I think it's there. We just have to recognize it, identify it, do something with it, and just kind of draw it out, bring it out. I think it's in there.